Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my NHL 20 franchise mode here in the state of hockey. In the previous episode, we were eliminated by the Colorado Avalanche in Game 7 of round number 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. And you know what? Part of me was hoping we made it to round 2. But this is the test year. This is year 3 of our 3-year plan, and I think there's a lot of holes to fix. There are a lot of holes, and this offseason is, I said the last offseason was pivotal. This offseason is so important. And I think the biggest thing right now is our center core. I mean, I think our offense really let us down. I mean, we got guys like Kaprizov and Pietrangelo who showed up. They did show up. But, I mean, Matt Murray just did not perform the best in Game 7. I mean, it was 3-2 final score, but 3-0 lead. You got to be a little more clutch than that. So Matt Murray might be on the way out. He did have a good round. I will give him that. We battled back and forth with Colorado. Game 1 loss. Game 2 victory. Game 3 loss. 2 straight victories and then 2 straight losses. That does suck. It stings a little, especially since it's against Colorado, one of our biggest rivals ever. But the playoffs are over. The experiment is over. This is where things start getting a little more complicated. Things need to start happening right now. No more sitting on the cusp of being a dominant team. We must make moves to put this team into contention. And I think that's why I waited on a Mika Zibanejad deal. I didn't want to waste our future for the wrong deal. I wasn't totally sure. Maybe Mika Zibanejad would have got us out of the first round, but that doesn't put us in the best position for the future. You know what does put us in the best position for the future? A top pick in the draft this year, and we do not have one of those. But there have been a lot of suggestions by the comments, the viewers. Yes, Anthony Francis is a high franchise centerman. And I don't want to give away his overall, but I'm saying it's a ridiculous overall. Some of you might be like, oh, that's so unrealistic, that's so stupid, but when we're talking about Anthony Francis, this created player that is out of my imagination, this guy is the next coming of Jesus Christ himself. He is the hockey phenom. He's better than Connor McDavid out of the draft. He's better than Sidney Crosby out of the draft. He is going to be the next Wayne Gretzky, I'm hoping for. But I don't think we're going to get a chance at taking him this draft. If the first overall pick is in play, then I will make a move. But I will have to see who ends up with the first overall pick, because if it's out of conference and it's with a team who's in a good position, then we can start talking about that, right? And a lot of you guys have been like, okay, you have the assets to go out even if they're not a team that wants to give up that draft pick. And I completely agree with you. There's a few guys on this current roster, or not our current roster, but our makeup in general, like Lucas Raymond, Connor McMichael might be good trade assets right now to use. I like Lucas Raymond. He had a 30-point season, and one of my commenters was pointing out, that's not a bad season. I don't know why. I have this thing for rookies, especially in NHL. You got to put up 50 points, minimum. And because I've been so blessed with so many fantastic rookies in my time. But 30 points is a great campaign. I don't want to give up on him just yet. But there are a few players on this team that aren't going to make it out of this year. Potentially Kevin Fiala, Jordan Greenway. Depends on how this offseason plays out. There are a lot of players here. I think an underrated person that nobody's talking about is Taro Sugimoto. Sorry, Sugimoto. He's going to be great. Lambert's pretty good. Roback is pretty decent. Hunt as well. Alexei Slychuk. There's a lot of guys here. There are a lot of players to potentially go after. But if we're not so sure about Matt Murray, the goalie and the player that I think we have the best shot in going and acquiring is Gregor de Vries. Vries. I'm not sure how you would pronounce that. He is a creative player. I'm almost 100% sure that he would jump into the NHL as one of the best goalies. He has a franchise potential, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure. I don't know why I would have lowered it, but he is the guy to go after. And there's no doubt in my mind that I need to acquire him. I don't know what pick we're going to end up with. 18th? We were one of the first teams eliminated, but maybe around the 20 range. I'm not 100% sure about that. But Gregor de Vries is 100% the guy I want to go for. If Anthony Francis isn't on the table, then Gregor de Vries. We also have a fantastic draft next year, so maybe we trade away a Greenway or a Fiala for picks from teams that have picks that could potentially be lottery positions or just out of the playoffs, because next draft is also stacked. I would say more stacked than this year. You have a lot of guys this year that I could get my hands on. It's a deep draft going right into the end of the first round. You could get a medium elite all the way up until 15th in this draft and beyond. You have so many guys. You have freaking Chunky McSkate Fast. What a beauty. I will not be drafting him. There are a lot of guys that I'm super excited to potentially acquire, and I'm not sure how my scouting staff is doing this year. Obviously, you have all our top guys. Sugimoto, Francis are obviously guys that I would love. I know you might go out and get a Shane Wright, Matthew Savoie. I had Matthew Savoie almost 100% of my last franchise mode, and I would love to have him on my team. I would. We did see a bit of Shane Wright in my previous franchise mode in the last year of my franchise mode, where we acquired him at the age of like 40. He came over, won a Stanley Cup with Columbus. I don't know if I would want to acquire him. I think he'd be fantastic. Maybe we go out and do that. If that pick is on the board, then I'm going out and making a move. We have to make a move. I would love Jeffrey Woodworth, but I do want to see him on a different team, see how he does. But this is an important draft. This is a very important draft. I feel that I put a lot of creative players into this draft, so I don't think it's going to be super deep this year out of the first round. I think then the computer's going to be like, oh, there's so many great players, then we're just going to not give you anything after that. There are a lot of guys this year to go out and get. So this is an important draft, not only from the drafting standpoint, but from trading. It does suck that we lost in round number 1, but we could get worse from here, but honestly, with the guys that are growing, we can only get better. But before the playoffs start, not before we get to the draft, I don't know why that was in my mind. I believe we must offer an extension to Kirill Kaprizov. He's a franchise player. I know it says he's a high elite, but he is a dynamite player already. And let me go to his career stats. He's a sniper. He's a fantastic offensive player. 89 points in a sophomore season is still fantastic. 47 goals. He has 120 goals in 164 games. Right? If only he was a bit younger. And then I'd be all crazy. I am crazy about him. But I think the best thing to do right now is to offer him an extension. Oh, okay. Last time I checked, we offered him 8 years, or I checked how much 8 years would cost, and it said around $16 million. And I'm assuming now that we had a rough playoff stint that he's asking for less and more term. which is a strange turnaround on his end, but this is a huge, huge win if we can get him for 11.04 times 0.85. Can we? I don't want him to get mad at us. I will offer him 10 flat over 8 years. $80 million, and he's going to make lots of money off of merchandise. Do we offer a guy like Luke Kunin a contract now? Okay, 6 years, that's a decent contract, brings him up until he's 30. I like him as a center. He's not going to be our first-line center. We're going to let go of David Krejci. He might even retire as well. 5.675 over 6 years is, I think, a fantastic deal for a two-way forward centerman like Luke Kunin. Okay, Kevin Fiala, I think I'm going to extend right now just so we can trade him at the draft. So I'll give him whatever money he wants. And then we can move him away. Is there anybody else here? I mean, Fitzgerald, can we get him for a solid contract? Hell yes. If we can get him for like just that deal, ooh, that would be sick. He was great during the playoffs for me. I mean, he had, let me go to the playoff stats. He had 3 goals in 7 games. Absolute beauty. Gotta love him. Anybody else here? Not looking like it. Okay, so let's head towards the draft. Hopefully these guys sign the contract. Kaprizov signs the $10 million deal over 8 years. So we have our franchise guy locked up, potentially the future captain. I still want you guys to tell me what person you think is the next captain. Kevin Fiala signs the contract. I think Kevin Fiala is on the way out. Luke Kunin signs the contract. Fitzgerald, cool, signs the contract as well. Now, this is an important draft. This is going to be a big episode. If last draft was our biggest episode, this one tops it so much. Gregor DeVries is the guy. And if we're getting our franchise player, it's going to be... He's similar to Roberto Luongo. You don't just throw that comparison out. If you guys can't remember Roberto Luongo in his prime, you just remember him as the funny guy off of Twitter, you are missing out. Just go back and watch some of his highlights on Vancouver in the 2010s. Absolute dominant player. Holy Jesus. And your 2022 Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. Congratulations, Florida. We will actually go to the awards, see who picked up some hardware. Maybe we get a few guys with a bit of hardware, but I do want to see the playoff tree. So we lost to Colorado in the first round. They actually go on to the conference finals, but Ovechkin's, yes, I know, Ovechkin is playing for Anaheim. He ends up in the Stanley Cup finals, but the Florida Panthers beating the Montreal Canadiens in round 1 in 5 games, winning in 7 against the Sens, winning in 6 against Buffalo, and 6 as well in the Stanley Cup finals. Their franchise's first ever Stanley Cup. Congratulations, Florida. Damn good team there in the Eastern Conference, but we have a lot of competition in the Western Conference. It's definitely going to be a lot more interesting seeing a bunch of new teams that we're going to play against, because we were in the East for 153 plus episodes last series, so it's going to be nice seeing a few new Western teams. President's Trophy winners, the Edmonton Oilers, scary friggin' team. Anaheim has gone back to back in the Stanley Cup Finals, and at least they won last year, right? I mean, geez, Ovechkin was a rental player. So the Florida Panthers, oh, that's funny. So 3 years in a row, Florida teams have gone to the Stanley Cup Finals. That's quite impressive. The Art Ross winner, 2 years running, Mark frickin' Scheifele, who is surprised by that. Your Hart Memorial winner, Mark Scheifele. That does not surprise me in the slightest. James Norris goes to Mark Giordano. Absolute fantastic season for the Oilers. Definitely an important part of their President's Trophy season. Lady Byng goes to Dominic Kahn. Kahn? Lady Byng. Okay, stealing that away from Kirill Kaprizov. Okay, I see how it is. Calder Memorial goes to Alexei Petrangelo, absolute stud. You could have argued Mironov because of how good of a rookie season as a defenseman he had. But 2 years running for Minnesota players, that is great to see. Conn Smythe goes to Alexander Barkov, who was surprised by that. Vezina goes to Ben Bishop. William M. Jennings goes to Braden Holtby on Ottawa. Snap. Bill Masterton goes to Charlie McAvoy. Good for him. Jack Adams goes to Harris for Winnipeg. Frank J. Selke goes to Barkov. Ted Lindsay goes to Mark Scheifele, 2 years running. And Maurice Richard Trophy goes to Patrick Laine, 60-plus goal season. And we are heading towards the lottery. I'm hoping that a great team finishes with the first overall selection, just so we can luck into one of those picks. The Boston Bruins are going to be selecting first overall, and maybe we have a shot at trading for that first pick. And if they want to give it up, we will literally give up anything on this team at this point. So Boston moving up from 5th to 1st. I mean, the Rangers moving from 10th to 3rd. They're getting a fantastic player. Detroit from 1st to 2nd. That is sad, Detroit. You absolute dumpster fire. But they're getting a franchise defenseman in Ben Archer, who we have not talked as much about. So, the draft class, this is important, guys. It is important. I'm not sure it's going to be the deepest of drafts, but the picks that we make in the first round are going to shape this franchise. But who decides to hang them up? Best player out of this class is Joe Thornton. You know, I was offered a trade a while back for Joe Thornton, and I decided, you know what, that's not the right piece right now. I mean, Thomas Hertl would have been one of those guys coming back as well. Maybe that would have been a good move to make. Maybe we would have made it farther in the playoffs, but it sucks to see Joe Thornton not win a Stanley Cup. 1,600 points, 1,175 assists, 1,800 games. He's a Hall of Famer, and there's nothing that you can say about that. Marian Gaborik, you could argue one of the best players in Minnesota's history. I mean, it says NA. I'm not sure why. It's maybe because he's a free agent, but drafted by Minnesota, 3rd overall in 2000, their first ever franchise's pick. Hey, good career, 800 points, 400 goals, right? That's an impressive career, nonetheless. Jason Pominville. I wanted to bring him over, but hey, good career for him as well. You got Andrew Ladd, terrible contract off the books. Same with David Backes, Zajac, Bozak. Oh, 36 years. Bozak is that old? Really? Drew Stafford, Como, Ron Hainsey, MacArthur, Boychuk. There's a few guys this year. Oh, Roman Polak. That's sad to see. Guys like Eric Condra, who you forget actually exist, and they're not a part of your imagination. No, surprisingly not. Are there big goalies this year? That is a big question. And Chad Johnson. Wow, he's older than I thought, too. Andrew Hammond also calls it quits. Sad that he couldn't turn his career around after leaving Ottawa. But you know what? Retiree phase is over. Do we lose anybody in our... we lose an NHL coach. I'm not sure what that is. Petr Pak. I'm pretty sure that might be a goalie coach. So that isn't going to be too hard to fix. So it is pre-draft interview time. I'm not sure how I'm going to use these. I'm honestly not super sure. I'm looking for centerman. Ludwig Pearson is a guy that I also haven't been talking about. Ludwig Pearson is also going to be pretty solid. Readiness, I'm pretty sure you're probably going to say NHL ready. Yeah, exactly. I would say that every player in the top 10 is NHL ready and can jump up into the league right now. Ludwig Pearson, might be a good addition to this club. Personally, I want to draft a centerman, and if we don't have the ability to, hey, I will draft a center either way. I mean, you got, let's look at our top centerman, or let's look at the top tier centerman in the draft. You have Anthony Francis, Matthew Savoie, Shane Wright, Sugimoto, who I have my eyes on. That's a playmaker and a half that I would love to bring over to this team. Dylan Hunt, who is a subscriber-created player. There you got a lot of guys here. You have Joe Leonon, Androv, who I think Leonon is a creative player, subscriber-created player. Derp Schnurfson. There's a few centermen this year. I don't think it's the deepest center core or center draft, but there are potentially a few guys to go out there and acquire, but I think the guys that you want are in the top 5 of this draft. There are a lot of impact players. There are a lot. So you have a lot of defensemen too. You have this Eric Johansson, who was created by, I believe, I want to say Itanios, NHL franchise mode guy. Does plenty of stuff. Go check him out. Great creator. He's supposed to be pretty good, this created player. Turvzovsky, who is also a subscriber created player. Now, if you are a subscriber who does have a created player in these drafts, I want you to remember the team that they're drafted by and comment down below, because my brain is working at half capacity right now. You have Wesley Lidman, Clark Burrish, Charlie Letty. Personally, I'm not looking for a defenseman. We have a stacked defensive core. There's no need for that at this very moment. We don't have to worry about defense. Ben Archer would be the first overall pick in any other draft. But I think the only players that I'm looking for is offense and a goalie. You have Gregor DeVries, you have Jin Ruan, and you have Christian Kajakovsky. Volpatti. You have some impact players. The goalie that I want right now is Gregor DeVries. He's probably NHL ready. You don't get that out of the draft. You don't get a goalie that's like, oh, I'm ready to play in the NHL right now. Goalies take so long to jump into their prime. I can only recall a few goaltenders that were like 20 and decided, hey, I'm going to play in the NHL right now. The guys like Martin Brodeur, Ken Dryden, Patrick Waugh. Those are guys that come to mind. And, NHL legends, Hall of Famers. Gregor DeVries is a future Hall of Famer, and I want him on Minnesota. We do have one more interview. I'm going to go to the front screen, if my brain could work for like 2 seconds here, and go to the oldest skaters that we have scouted. Is there any guy that Roback is going to be sick. Might have to pick him up. But it all depends on where our cards lay. It all depends if a team wants to give up a pick or two. Is there any guys that I want to take a look at? You know what? These draft interviews don't work anyways, so you know what? We're just going to go ahead and sim to the draft. The draft is upon us. It is important. Let's make moves. It's time, boys. It's time. Does Boston want to get... Okay, Boston, no freaking way they want to give up this pick. There's no way. We have to act fast. We have to act fast. And Weeman, if we get Gregor DeVries, there's no need. Oh, damn it. Is it realistic that we do this? That is something we must do right now. Oh, we're going to have to give up Wong. For that first overall pick, Wong has got to be the guy the other way. Wong, jeez, this. There's no freaking way the computer would do that. There's no way. There's no way, but we have to make this trade believable for Boston. Okay, Trevor Wong, Kevin Fiala. I know that trade would go through as it is, but I think it's only fair that we give them a bit more, just because that literally isn't fair. Oh, Parise and Sutter are starting to drop off. That sucks. And I think, would they take? We could throw Murray at them, give him his rights, and then we will give up. We'll give up. Man, we got to make it realistic. We got to make this trade realistic. I think the only way to do that is giving... I know that trade would go through automatically, but this is a franchise player, and you're not going to agree with the overall that he's at. But we would literally play that guy like a workhorse, and he's going to be an experiment. But Trevor Wong, Kevin Fiala, Matt Murray in a first from next year, that's only fair to do. Just do it. Trade accepted, Boston. You might disagree with that a lot, but I had no idea that the computer would want to give up that pick. We are going to call a timeout. There is no... Oh, God. Wow, this pushes this franchise mode into another direction. Now, would it be too unrealistic to go and get that goalie at 15th, 12th overall? Right, what would it take from Calgary to make sure that we get that pick? I don't want the computer going out of the way to pick that goalie, you know? Our first, right, then it's like maybe we give them like a Greenway, who I don't think is going to fit into our system much longer, because Boldy's coming up right, so Greenway's got to go the other way. Do we just do that trade right as it is? Trade accepted. Man. I didn't expect to have this pick. And we just traded an elite player, Kevin Fiala, a first, Matt Murray. The rights to Matt Murray. They might even get a great goalie out of it, you know? Boston has screwed up royally. The first overall pick. Says he's a sniper. We can change into a playmaker because Anthony Francis is the craziest overall. You guys might be like, oh, is he like an 85 out of the draft? No. Is he an 88 out of the draft? No. Is he a 90 out of the draft? Higher. Is he a 95 out of the draft? With the first overall selection in the 2022 NHL Entry Draft, the Minnesota Wild are proud to select from the Oshawa Generals in the OHL, Anthony Francis. 99 overall. Some of you might be like, damn, that's too high, Owen. He's over 9,000. And I thought I wouldn't have... If I didn't have the chance at this pick, I wasn't going to just trade away my entire farm to get that. But Boston wanted to make that trade. Boston thought it was fantastic. Anthony Francis is ours. 99 overall. My God. My God. But now that we have Anthony Francis, I did trade up for that pick at 12th, but I think it would be too unrealistic to exploit how much I know about these prospects and draft another franchise goalie or another franchise player. I think that'd be too unrealistic. I think we made out like gangbusters. If this is the only pick we make this draft, then we make out like gangbusters. There's no problem with that. So I think we're going to have a lengthy talk about that. So Detroit, who will they be selecting? Ben Archer, 91 overall. And I said it was a stacked draft class. I was not lying about that. And personally, I'm so excited to use Francis in a franchise mode because I've never been able to do that offline. And having this selection is going to be fantastic. Boston, you absolute fools. I'm hoping we face off in the Stanley Cup Finals a few years down the road. But I can't wait to play Anthony Francis on 2 power play lines. It's going to be great. Ben Archer changes Detroit's makeup right now. That is a fantastic defenseman. In New York, who will they be selecting? Matthew Savoie. Oh, Matthew Savoie before Shane Wright? Really? Really? I was not expecting that. They're the same overall. I thought Savoie was going to be a less overall. I think the better overall player right now is Shane Wright, just because we know how much he dominated in the last franchise mode. So I like how 2 of the top 4 picks are out of conference. Good for Detroit. Good for... You see a lot of 2 original 6 teams getting franchise players. That's 4 straight franchise players. And the Washington Capitals will select Jeffrey Woodworth. You know, they lose Ovechkin, or they trade him away for not too much. But they get their next guy. 82 overall, right-wing sniper, high elite, out of the draft. A fantastic player. He's going to make a difference for Washington. The Nashville Predators at 6 will select Taro Tsujimoto, 78 overall playmaker. I'm glad we have Francis, but oh my God, Nashville. Vancouver, Barnett, who was the first computer-generated guy here. Darren Barnett, 82 overall. My God, that's a great pick at 7th. He could have rivaled in any other draft for the 1st, 2nd, 3rd overall pick, but in this kind of draft class, 7th is the best he could do. New Jersey, Alexei Slychuk. Out of the, I believe he was playing the SHL, if I'm not mistaken. Fantastic player there. Vegas. And they get Alexander Roback. Fantastic player. Oh, you're going to enjoy him, Vegas. I mean, they got Lafreniere. They got, who did they get last year? They got Aturati, and now they get Roback. Vegas is going to be a scary team in the near future. St. Louis. Joakim Kamel. Fantastic piece for St. Louis. San Jose. They get Brad Lambert. Fantastic pick for San Jose. Plenty of awesome picks here. And with the 12th overall pick. We discussed Gregor DeVries, and that was without the assumption of us getting the 1st overall pick. Now, I don't want to exploit that too much. I kind of want to go after a guy that I don't know too much about. And Numminen, maybe? Cal Numminen, Eric Johansson. I do know a bit about that, but I know how good Gregor DeVries is, and I feel like that would be just a little selfish of me to just take him. We have a fantastic 76 overall homegrown goalie we drafted in our first year with Jaden Wyman. So I think the best thing to do here is go after Dylan Hunt, who is a subscriber-created player, Numminen, Eric Johansson, Tverdovsky, Lidman. There's a lot of guys here. I think it would be selfish of us to just go out and get to acquire Gregor DeVries. I think with Francis, that eliminates us doing that. I think it's only fair that we don't pick Gregor DeVries. A lot of you guys might be go get him. If Anthony Francis is 99 overall, how good is Gregor DeVries? Gregor DeVries is undeniably the best goalie out of the draft in ever, potentially. Yeah. Even when Marc-Andre Fleury was selected 1st overall in 2003, nothing comes close to Gregor DeVries. So, we're in a bit of a pickle here. Do we go with Ludwig Pearson? Do we go with Dylan Hunt? Numminen? I would love Gregor DeVries. Trust me, I would love that. I would love that. I mean, I know Nikita Rogar is pretty solid as well. But I'm gonna call a timeout for about I'll call a 10-minute timeout. 10-minute timeout. I just want to go to the trade block, see what's out there. Maybe we make a move for a great player, but Anthony Francis, oh my God. I can't wait to roll him on 2 power play lines. It's going to be absolutely sick. Oh, our team is, with that center. I mean, look at Wyman. He's so ready to make it into the NHL. Him and Jones might be taking over soon. Wyman is going to be good. He really reminds me of Kavanaugh in our last franchise mode. So let's take a look at what's around the league right now. Rookie skater's not the thing that I was looking at. Okay. Anaheim, not too much. And Nostroza wouldn't be a bad player. Trevor Wong, congratulations, Boston. You played yourself 2 straight franchise modes, you absolute fools. Is there going to be an impact player here? Jordan Stahl, $6 million at 2 years isn't bad. Maybe that's a guy we wait until free agency to look at there. We also have to think about free agency, right? There might be something great out there to go out and acquire. I mean, Cam Atkinson. I'm thinking of because I don't have my official roster sheet down, and I'm kind of playing it by ear until we get to the re-sign phase. But a guy like Cam Atkinson, we could put Kaprizov on the top right, Pietrangelo on the top left, center would be Francis. Then we could look to our second line, Kunin, Hoglander, Cam Atkinson. That's a really solid contract. We could potentially get them to retain on that. Potentially. There are a lot of ifs and buts, okay? Detroit. Freaking Anthony Mantha, you absolute fools. You played yourself. Wilmer, no. Caribou, no. Drew freaking Doughty is on the block? Oh my God, what are you doing? I mean, that's a terrible contract for Drew Doughty, but I know. Drew Doughty has dipped off a lot in recent memory. The NHL and their fans are always a "what have you done for me lately" sort of thing. Drew Doughty might be the best defenseman of the 2010s. 2 Stanley Cups. He's might be rivaled by Duncan Keith. I would say Duncan Keith is probably a bit better in his prime than Drew Doughty in his prime, but yeah, that's a hard player to give up for Los Angeles. That is tough. You're going one way, you probably can get a lot for him. Might as well do it, right? Whoa, PK Subban. Oh, right, he's probably on a contract here, yeah? Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Pedersen, no. Nope. Drysdale would be sick, but no thank you. Is there going to be an impact play? Ooh, Chris Letang. Underrated NHL defenseman, I think. Even though he's playing for Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's just a world beater every time. Ooh, why is Ryan O'Reilly at an 85? I thought I'd put him up. Man, oh man, he would be a sick player to have on this team. I mean, Brady Shen would also be sick. Okay, St. Louis is doing something there. Okay. Tampa Bay, no thank you. Nope. Zemzis Girgensons, absolute beauty. Max Pacioretty. Now that is a player that I never thought I'd hear of ever again. Now we just traded away Kevin Fiala. I think Hoglander is going to come up into that top 6 now. Parise is probably going to fall out. There's a lot of potentially moving pieces this summer. There already has been, right? We lose 2 roster players in Kevin Fiala. Sucks to see you go, but we got Anthony Francis. And we lost Greenway, who was just a piece in a trade, right? Okay. Jensen. Okay. So, okay. There's a few things out there, right? But who's a guy that we would look at trading right now? I mean, personally, nobody right now that I'm super high on trading. I mean, we got Connor McMichael, who's going to make the NHL this year. You got a lot of pieces that are coming up into the league. What's the point of even doing anything as it stands, right? Kaprizov, Francis, Pietrangelo, Raymond. They're all going to get better with time. Right? So I think right now we just got to make the pick. We just got to make the pick. Now, what is the pick? What is the right pick to make? Are we looking at a lefty? Are we looking at a righty? I do like Juraj Slavkovsky because he was really good in the last franchise mode. I'm not sure about Hagos. I know Gallivan is pretty good. Jamie Gallivan. And after that, my knowledge of everybody is kind of iffy. Rogar is also pretty good, but I think I'll stay away from him just for... Because if we're staying away from Gregor DeVries... But you could also say the same thing about Francis, but I was going to pick one of the two. Right? And I don't think it would be fair if we picked both. I keep saying that. I'm trying to put myself into a... That I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. I think I'm right. Cal Newmanen. Oh, whoa. Similar to Patrick Kane. Okay, Cal Newmanen. You don't just throw that name around. Patrick Kane is Patrick frickin' Kane. 200 pounds? He's NHL ready. I mean, Raymond goes up. Potentially Raymond is moved in the future. Raymond could also play left or right. Wing, right? Oh, I'm funny. Newmanen might be a good player to bring on, but we were discussing centerman. We just got Francis, and that solves all our problems. If we're looking at an impact forward right now, it's probably Cal Newmanen. I mean, who is Pearson similar to? He's NHL ready. Dylan Hunt is probably NHL ready too, similar to Joe Thornton. I think I'm going to select Cal Newmanen. Cal Newmanen looks like an absolute beast, similar to Patrick Kane. He's going to be a beast. Gregor DeVries. Oh, man. I'm going to hate myself if I don't pick him. But I'm going to hate myself if I pick him and you guys are like, no, you had a chance of picking him. No. Yeah, I think it's just fair that we just pick one of the two fantastic players in this draft. I hope he does well somewhere else, but we also have a fantastic goalie in our prospect pool. So, Cal Newmanen is coming to Minnesota. Welcome to the club. He's 80 overall. He's NHL ready. That's a fantastic pick. That would rival top 5 in any other draft class. So I do want to see where... Ludwig Pearson would have been a sick pick as well, but our center core is starting to get a little stacked. Okay, I do want to see where Gregor DeVries falls. Johansson, damn good defenseman, Tampa Bay. Hunt, okay, I'm scared. Who's going to get Gregor DeVries? Tverdovsky's a great... Oh, is Montreal going to get him? Don't you dare say that. Oh, my God. Oh, Montreal. At least it's in another conference. So, Carey Price is getting older. Right, and they go out and acquire a 97 overall high franchise goalie out of the draft. And now, maybe you guys agree with what I'm saying. Hey, you get Francis, that's 6, that solves that. Our defense is so good, any goalie on this team should compete. Maybe Gregor DeVries, we missed out on that. Maybe we did. But I think it's only fair for this franchise mode that we miss out on one of the two. If I didn't pick Francis, if I didn't have that opportunity, Gregor DeVries was the guy to come over. But you never know. Goalies are always iffy in this franchise mode. You never know if they're going to compete or not. So I think we're just going to sim all the way up to our next pick and see how these first few rounds go. Yeah, you do see a low elite franchise goalie there. So let's go all the way to the first round. I mean, that does suck that we missed out on Gregor DeVries. We purposely missed out on him, right? Hagos was pretty good. Slavkovsky was also really good. Whoa, I didn't know Ron was a created player on my end. Did not know he was going to be that good. Whoa, Kajakovsky is also really... Honestly forgot how good I made them as well. I forgot. Wow. Jesus, the goalies in this draft. Okay. Yeah, guys might be upset about that, but I only took advantage of one of the created prospects I made, right? Gallivan was pretty good. And Dronov was really good. Oh, low franchise guy. Okay. McSkate Fast. A chunky McSkate Fast, sorry. Kennedy. Nidamaki. It's a solid, it's a really great draft class. And then see that Rogar guy to St. Louis, they've had a damn good draft as well. See, these are franchise-changing picks. The first round, every one of those helps your franchise out immediately. Dihus, not sure how to pronounce that. Minnesota in the second round. Oh, 58 overall. Who are you? And this is it, and I have no idea about anybody else. There's no way there's any creative players that slip through at this point. Bednar's might be a good guy to go out and acquire. Cesar's, yeah, I'm not actually too sure about that. Let's see. Who is projected the player right now? Defenseman might be pretty good. He's from Mark Howe. You also don't throw that name around. You don't just compare players to NHL legends like Mark Howe. You don't just do that. Mikko Lajunin might be a good player to go out there and get. Yuri Semenov, 3-year ETA. Depends. He might be a high top 9. Cody Street. B competition from the NLA. Centerman, Cody Street. I'm honestly not sure what kind of player he'd be. Popovich. See, I'm scared that Semenov, and Street might be similar to a guy like Popovich. Pat Popovich, fantastic name, 3-year ETA. So I'm scared about guys with 3-year ETA just because of that, right? So 30 seconds actually left on our pick. So we're going to call a timeout just because I would be very upset if we missed out on a good pick here. So, I want to go with the defenseman. We do have an Oli Martins, who I'm not sure. Oh, 3-year TA as well. He's probably going to be a top 9. I have a feeling. I think the best thing to do right now is go after one of those defensemen. And I think Lajunin might be the best guy right now. I think I might regret this top 6. That is iffy there, so... Samsonov. See, I wasn't wrong about that. Semenov as well. Florida, who do they end up picking? Please don't tell me it's a fantastic player. Come on. Street, see? Yeah. Was there any winning in that situation? Detroit, Popovich. Columbus, yeah. See, there wasn't a whole lot of winning in that situation, so it happens. Any great players that I missed out on? Just a lot of top 9s, a lot of top 9s, low top 4s. Nothing super special. So Minnesota, first overall pick in the 4th round. What are we going to go out? What are we going to acquire? Do we have any players scouted fully? No. Anybody special? We have this 3-barred Shane Eastwood. But 130th overall, I doubt he'll be anything special. We have this goalie in Harrison Hicketts at 140. Okay, what pick are we currently at? 94. Tucker, Colton Tucker, he has a 5-year ETA. Doubt he'll be anything super special. You know what, I think we're going to go after one of those goalies. Ivan Ulanov. Let's go with the goalie. Let's see how the goalie is. Oh, great pick from Minnesota. See, that's not taking advantage of the draft class. Didn't the Blue Jackets just draft Tim Threfall? Oh, my God. Ulanov, welcome to the club, bud. Great goalie. We're pretty good at picking goalies. Okay, I'm not going to lie. So, what else did we miss here in the 4th round? Looks like we've gotten the best player available so far. That is what I like to see. Do we go after another goalie? Hagos. Pretty damn good pick there. Okay, I get that. Is there a goalie? We do love our goalies. Do we go out and acquire the Eastwood guy, or do we go out and get... I mean, this goalie might be pretty similar to... I mean, where was he? I think it was the... who was it? No, hold on. We scouted... Hold on. Use your brain. Think, Owen. Think. Use your brain. Use your brain. Come on. Where was he? He was around the Eastwood guy. Hicketts. Let's go with Hicketts right now. Let's do it. Let's see if he's in a good fringe starter. 61 overall, though, which is really solid for a fringe starter in the 4th round. That's honestly a good pick. That's not a bad pick for the 4th round. Ooh, Marsh. Damn good pick by Columbus. 20 years of age. He's an overager. Still a good pick, though. Zykov was a starter. Oh, Eastwood. Damn it, I freaking called it. I knew it. Hermie was a good pick as well. So some solid selections here. I think, you know what, let's go with the defenseman from the Extraliga. Let's see how he is. Bad pick. Our worst pick of the draft so far. Bar freaking none. Do we miss anything here in these last few picks? Nothing super special, so I'm okay with that. Good. Good. I'm glad we didn't miss anything super special there. Anything? McGillney. Let's go with the defenseman. Yeah, I messed up there. I'm just shooting in the dark at this point, really. So, did we pick in the... Was that guy in the 5th round? Okay, yeah. McGillney was in the 5th round. Nothing missed out on, really. Okay. No, just looking like an average draft at this point. Nothing super special. Why would I want to trade for Philly's pick? Literally, why would I even press that button? Whose man's decided that? Let's see. Let's see. Is there anything else here? I mean, personally, I would rather just shoot a shot at a goalie just because we're pretty good at picking goalies. So, the next projected goalie is Nikita Plekhanov. Let's take the selection. Fringe starter. Another asset. Doesn't really hurt me in the slightest. Did we miss anything else here? No. No. Okay. I'm chill with that. I'm okay with that. I'm glad no other team is getting anything super special. We've picked up a few really solid players out of all the good players in these last few rounds. There's not a whole lot you can ask for, but have we scouted anything? Have we? So we got this Sergei Sarkov guy. We got this Yaskin. Let's go with Sarkov. Let's see if he's anything decent. Low top 658 overall. That's a damn good pick in the 7th round. You know what? With the selection of the franchise-altering Anthony Francis, it was a damn good draft. I am happy about that. We made moves. We got our franchise guy. Another one, 2 straight drafts. I would call that an absolute success. Also, before I end this episode, by the time this episode is up, we might have already hit 250. So if we're not at 250 yet, maybe you consider subscribing. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, leave a comment, share with people who you think may enjoy this sort of thing. I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.